Welcome to If This Bar Can Talk, a podcast about bartenders and the stories they have to tell, as well as the storied history of spirits, cocktails, and bars. I'm your host, Leigh Ann Sims, along with my partner in crime, Blair Beavers.
Hello.
We're doing things a little differently today. We are actually taking the show on the road, and our first stop is Pints and Union here in New Albany, Indiana. We're here with Joe Phillips, the owner of Pints and Union. Thanks for doing the show, Joe.
Thank you.
So I was reading on the website that you are a progressively old world public house, creative small plates, classic cocktails, and comfort beers. Was that a concept that you came up with?
I did over a long period of time. A friend of mine, Roger Baylor, and I were talking about bringing back something that's been kind of lost in bars. That kind of dates us. Things we missed from the 1990s, from the 80s. Environments before there was TV, when there was more of a focus on actually hanging out.
Sure.
Less on being distracted or
Right.
overwhelmed or kind of sold in some hyped up gimmick, you know? And he had owned a public house before, and he's not a owner per se, but he definitely has influence here.
Okay.
So I just took some of what I learned from him in the past and brought it to life.
Okay. Yeah, I noticed down here in the bar area there are no TVs, which I love.
Correct, and there won't be. It was a culmination, definitely, of things we enjoyed from the past, and then things I've experienced in my career and traveling.
Okay.
And I just brought it to life.
So have you been a bartender, or is this
Yeah.
a new thing for you? Okay.
No, I've been in the industry since I was 15 for 30,
Oh, wow.
30 years this year.
Here in New Albany?
No, in Louisville.
Okay.
Yeah, all in Louisville for the most part. I was actually working at Copper and King's Brandy Distillery as their food and beverage hospitality director and consulting for them. And I got offered this space by a developer who's known me from the industry. And I was pretty obsessed with the Dead Rabbit out of New York and with Treehouse in Nashville. And I took the craziest risk ever, fucking suicide, right? I'm a total idiot, clearly. So I let the space speak to me, because that's kind of how I operate. I've consulted for people. I've helped a lot of people open. I've been their opening GM, or I've been hired to fix their problems. I've been that guy for a long time, and I wasn't looking for New Albany at all. If anything, I was looking for Butchertown, to be honest with you. And this building was built in the 1800s, and it had always been some sort of a pub or a bar or a general store or something. And it's just kind of weird. I just came in and was like, I can feel it. And so I chose where to put everything. You know, I designed my back bar. I picked all the equipment. There's only me. So I built the kitchen, which is super tiny and efficient. Everything was really, really intentional. A lot of United Kingdom influence in subtle ways. Originally, the idea was to have a lot of international street food, kind of rotating.
That's fun.
Well, United Kingdom, right?
Yeah.
So people wanted to say, because we brought up the word English or Welsh or whatever. My family's Welsh, and I don't have a flag anywhere, clearly. But they want to pigeonhole you with like, you know, oh, you don't have the standard garbage things on the menu. Well, no, United Kingdom colonized 3/4 of the planet at one point in time, so my window's pretty wide.
Yeah.
They're just not very bright about, you know, their perception of, like, they like to put you in a hole, you know. if anything, we're doing more Indian than anybody over here. We're doing more curry. We're doing, tikka. We don't have fish and chips anywhere on the menu,
Okay.
for that reason.
Right.
So we had to kind of dumb it down and make it more approachable for this demographic.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I was here for the first time a couple of months ago, and I ordered a old Cuban, and I went upstairs and I had I think I had a Scotch egg and some other stuff, and the guy who made the drink for me walked by and said, "Hey, how'd you like that old Cuban?" And I said, "Oh, it was great. It was really great, well made. I love this classic cocktail." And he said, "Wow, I can't believe you know that's a classic cocktail, because most people around here don't know that."
Yeah.
So what's it like having classic cocktails in a small town like New Albany? Are people receptive, or how are you finding that? How's that going?
It's a great question. I'm glad somebody's finally asked me that. So it's been a trip, because like when we opened, I believe in kind of changing the tide, doing really what you believe in, not what you're told to do or you think you should do.
Sure.
So I had a liquor rep over here very specifically that when I said I want to do a gin and tonic program, because most people have garbage gin and tonics, and if you have a really good one, which is very simple, not a bougie pretentious thing, it's great, it's like shit beer from good beer. It's like everything else,
Right.
Just keep it simple. I keep the price point under $10 and like think about what you're doing. And my beverage director at Calvin, we were looking at Fever Tree. Fever Tree tonic just made stuff too expensive over here, and I really wanted to keep everything around $7 to $8. So he made a tonic serve that was actually better tasting at the end, which was really shocking. And not that he couldn't, I just didn't see that coming. And so we were told a gin and tonic program would never work by a liquor rep, a guy we're giving money to, mind you, right? Lots of money. Well, now we're moving cases
Really?
of gin. So kiss my ass on that one. Yeah, cases
Good for you.
through his account, which is annoying. But nonetheless, and liter cases, of Heyman's and City of London, and yeah, pretty great.
That is awesome.
So, long story short, what he was used to for 30 years, what people subscribe to and they limit themselves to from their lack of perspective and openness is, so you are your own self-limiter. So we were shocked because it blew up, I think the exact words were, if you put the word gin on the menu, it'll be okay to change your tune in 6 months, I think, to quote. Yeah, I'm not changing my tune so much. So, Shandies are moving.
Yeah.
The craft cocktail scene has come and gone. It inflated, it's shrunk, it's changed, it's gotten too complicated at some places. People don't want 15-part builds, and they don't want to be intimidated by every other word on the menu,
Right.
So how do you walk that fine line? I wasn't sure, and we did it. We move a lot more cocktails than I had anticipated. We moved as much now as I had hoped we would. But when we started building this program, I had about 15 bottles of liquor total on that shelf 4 months ago. And I built that back bar by call. So I didn't buy anything that was dead cash. As soon as we got calls for things or we saw what was moving, we just grew on it.
Then you expanded
And
it.
just kept little by little. We didn't come in with the liquor program forcing it down your throat, telling you this is what you should think. We came in with a little bit. We just went with what everybody was picking up on from us.
And when did you open your doors?
August 1st. For now.
Yeah.
Good for you. Well,
No.
I hope you do well, because
you.
I think that's what this town needs, and I
think
it's
every
just-
town needs one.
Oh,
you know?
for sure,
Thank you.
for sure. But definitely, the downtown is really growing now. Things are
Yeah.
happening. I was raised here, and
Awesome.
when I
Yeah.
was living here, there was nothing.
No.
There wasn't even a movie theater yet when
Yeah.
I lived here. So, yeah, it's and nobody comes to New Albany. They go to Louisville. But for you listeners out there, if you do happen to visit Louisville, just come across the Sherman Minton Bridge. It's about a 10-minute drive, and you could be at Pints and Union sipping on a great cocktail and having some small plates It's a really cool place. So I'm interested in your decor. A lot of stuffed animals.
Yeah,
and
taxidermy, I'm a fan.
taxidermy.
Raccoon's ass. You
Okay.
can't be stressed out and sit with a taxidermy raccoon's ass that has been tipped by our guests.
I'll post a
That's
photo
so
of that.
funny.
It's
Yeah.
pretty great. It's like a thing. Well, we get a lot of Louisville traffic, which is really, really cool. And we give away Copper and Kings tour passes constantly.
Oh,
We're friends
fun.
with Joe and Leslie Heron.
Oh, we
And
love that place.
Rabbit Hole just did an event here Wednesday night, and Michter's is going to do an event here. So all of our friends from Louisville, Chef Lawrence Weeks from Garage Bar was here 2 nights ago. From he's a sous chef from Garage Bar. Chef Megan from Monarch Brewery was here last weekend.
Amazing.
We're doing our staff party December 2nd at Monarch, and Monarch's going to do their staff party here in January.
Very cool.
So without my hometown, I would drown.
Yeah.
I couldn't survive over here. So I'm very grateful to Louisville because we have been the anomaly that has brought people over. And I didn't think it'd be a bar,
Yeah.
but I built a bar that Louisville doesn't have.
Right.
Very
Right.
intentionally,
Right.
They don't. Michael and Siobhan that own the Rover were here 2 weeks ago on a Sunday,
Fun.
And I worked with them when they opened, and they were like, "This is great. It's
Wow.
totally different. You are resurrecting the pub in a totally different way and keeping it alive for 30 more years,
Yeah.
which is what the Dead Rabbit did, which was what inspired me. So that is all really, really important, and we are easy to get to. The location's huge in that.
Yeah.
It was so easy to get to and
Just
turn around
off
and
the
get out.
freeway and
I mean,
go.
super, super simple.
Right.
You're not getting lost in Indiana,
Yeah.
which people are afraid of. And I get that.
Exactly.
I totally understand that.
Right.
And so, yes, the decor is everything's on a dimmer. Like I said, I built everything to be disarming, so you don't need TVs. You can feel like it's been here forever. It's old school, new school, good equipment, backlit, beer and can. You can see it. You don't have to get lost in a list. You have a visual. You have a secondary visual that it's the draft lines are the same on both ends. These booths, I wanted originally conventional English high back booths, kind of confessional style. But I think I was creeping on the pre-Vatican stuff a little bit too much. So my developer was like, "Well, I'll build these, but I've got these windows." And he was brilliant for doing that because you have a sense of privacy, but it's not dark and you don't feel closed in or lost.
Right.
So the light travels through. The front ended up, I asked for a fireplace mantle. He had it. I got some 125-ish year old church views. Blue Ocean in Louisville. I got a lot of my furniture and taxidermy from Jason. They're having their Christmas party here too. I love taxidermy. Taxidermies are in pubs and lodges. It is again proof that you don't need a TV. And I'm also helping a small store in Louisville that sells some taxidermy. So she commissions her stuff and has a placard up front. And I just wanted to bring in certain elements back. The piano, 1938 piano that was donated to us by some local people. By law in Indiana, you have to have a rail 5 feet away from the bar to have people under 21 in. So I was okay with that, but I insisted it becomes a pint rail. So it's a standing pint rail, so it doubles up for volume and overspill.
Awesome.
Then upstairs is a true public house. You've seen the big tables,
Yes.
You've seen the board games, bookshelves, the lighting's on dimmers, everything's different. Everything's just a slight distraction without being obnoxious.
So tell me about the bar.
The wood came from the developer's uncle's front yard. It was a tree that fell that he just took in and decided to plane it out. Had it laying around and said, "Would you be into this for a bar top?" And I was like, "Absolutely."
Oh, that's cool.
So
It's really beautiful.
it's beyond polyurethane. It's a 2-part chemical pour that creates a very mirror-like wet finish at nighttime. Especially when you dim it. I love that this atmosphere totally changes at nighttime. During the day, it's very open and airy, and at nighttime, it's very kind of sepia tone down here. Totally different than upstairs. It's very engaging and warm, and has like a really good energy down here at nighttime.
Yeah, it's great.
The bar face is a 100-ish year old roofing from a house that he had. I had done a footrail like this previously, so I requested it. The stools I picked were metal to take people's weight and abuse, and also they couldn't have backs because I didn't want the backs of the stools to take away from the finish of the bar. I wanted the stools to be kind of just secondary, not noticeable, and incredibly functional.
Wow, she really thought out every single little detail.
We have coat hooks underneath the entire bar, a few plugs, coat hooks in every booth. Yeah, the guy I have painted in the bathroom downstairs, I wanted you to see him in the mirror to kind of creep you out, to kind of pay homage to the ghosts here.
Oh, there are ghosts here.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah. Doesn't happen when guests are here, but yeah, it does the same thing every time.
What does it do?
It only does anything if you're down here. There will be, it's the same area, a large thud, like a dropping of a trunk, and a dragging of it, very clearly, like no mistaken, like it's,
Wow.
And it was me the first time, and then I didn't think much of it, and they've all jokingly been like, "Oh yeah," and I said, "What did you hear?" Exact same thing.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know who it is or what he's doing or who is dragging in the case or whatever, but yeah.
What was this building originally, do you know?
Originally it was a general store, and then it was a pharmacy, a grocer, it was Love's Cafe, it was a bunch of shitty bars. It has always been some form of general store concept.
Well, Joe, we're going to take a break right now, and I'm hoping that you're going to mix us up a cocktail from your
Absolutely.
menu, and when we come back, we'll taste your cocktail.
Awesome.
We've like 3 or 4 gin and tonics on our original menu, and people ordered that one the most. And it is like the most straightforward, like a classic tonic syrup with a lot of citrus, and then some spices like allspice and lemongrass in there as well. And then essentially, I've seen a lot of tonics at other places, tonic syrups, especially like house tonics from other places, that they get really muddy. They get this like red color, and that's a lot of times because they're putting like this chinocha bark powder directly into their syrup, and that like it's just dusty. It's kind of dirty. It's muddy. So with that, I make a tincture with Everclear and that chinocha bark powder. Strain off all the powder, so you've just got this red, like pure alcohol with that extract of chinocha bark. So like really a few drops of that per cocktail adds a really strong bittering agent, a lot of aromatics that you are looking for from a tonic, because you don't want it to be sweet. You want it to be crisp and clean, have a little bit of bitterness to it, but a lot of citrus, a lot of flavor.
Wow.
So that's what that kind of became. It's essentially like probably for every 100 cocktails we make here a night, that would be a really busy night for us, 100 cocktails. So that would probably be 25 to 40 of them is just that one gin and tonic.
So it must be good.
Oh, it's very good.
What's your name?
I'm Calvin Philley, the bar director.
Nice to meet you. And where did you learn all this stuff?
In the life of, I guess, any bartender, if they're going to be successful at all, they'll have met a few people working from place to place that are like total badasses. Feels like they know, like when you start working with them, you're like, how do they know all this? That knowledge just kind of gets passed along. So really like 3 or 4 years of bartending at places that were like okay or really good. I met a few people who taught me some things, but also like once you kind of learn the basics of technique and whatever else, you can find any resource on the internet, really. The internet is what created this drink. I found a few different like tonic syrup recipes and took the stuff I liked from all of them. And the way that they were balanced, the balance of it is all going to be the same, but the individual flavors you want to pull out or showcase can be totally up to you. So once I was able to get like a grounding of technique and what I understand balance of flavor to be, you can kind of take that and run with it. I think anybody could really.
I see you have Death and Company on your back bar, so that's
my
a
favorite.
Good
That's
guy.
my favorite book. After like Death and Company, Dead Rabbits. Those are my two like resources that I actually do turn to a lot. And then I actually just picked up Cocktail Codex. I haven't even opened it up yet because I've been too busy here. Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for the information, and
absolutely.
we're going to go back to the table and
Enjoy.
taste this delicious cocktail. Thank you. And we are back with a delicious gin and tonic. So Blair, cheers.
Cheers. Oh, that is good. Yeah.
The difference between your standard and a really
Yeah,
good one.
and that you can tell immediately that is not any tonic you can buy anywhere. That's awesome. That's really good.
That understated
That really is
gentleman.
delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The lemongrass, allspice lemongrass tonic, that is really, really good.
He's working on a green curry tonic for January so that we can do more Indian food in like the worst month of the year, right? Where everybody's depressed and feels fat and holiday food, you know?
Right.
And so we're going to show Bollywood movies upstairs and do a green curry gin and tonic to totally just like cleanse your palate, totally different thing, and some Indian food in the middle of like the depressing month, you know? Why not?
You guys are really doing it right. I was at another new bar here in town the last time I was in, and they're doing okay, but I was a little disappointed that they were using sour mix. And I noticed that you guys you're juicing fresh, you're dehydrating your lemons as we speak. So everything fresh.
Yeah. I mean, we don't have soda guns, so people sometimes are put off by that, but we're not, there's a difference between being pretentious or just doing things right. You know, we just want to do things right. We don't want it to be confusing or overwhelming. We don't want cocktails that you can't possibly understand. You know, we just want to show you these simple elements and help you to understand them. And obviously, things like juicing is really important. Why would you buy sour when it's really easy to make?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, we always have lemon juice. We always have lime juice. We always have simple syrup. We always have. He made a Guinness Demerara, you know,
Oh, wow.
and for the lowdown, and did a great riff on kind of on an old fashioned, but did a mist, which was like the most pretentious thing we've ever done, of scotch, and it worked. It worked perfectly because it just gave this tiny hint of peat, this nose, you know. But he's brilliant with his layering. We have an amazing work dynamic because I'll tell him what I want, an idea, and he'll make it better than I would have thought of, and that's
Amazing.
the ultimate. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think what separates good bartenders from great bartenders is restraint, exercising restraint. Because you're right, a lot of, especially the larger markets, I feel like they just go overboard with all the ingredients and the
It's too much.
confusing. Yeah, it's too much. And keeping it simple is just delicious. And I feel like we're in a big city bar in a very
you.
small town. And
Yeah.
I mean,
And
it's
it's-
just amazing what
And
you're
it's
doing.
one of those like hidden gems in a big city that you just walk in off the street and all of a sudden you're like, oh, this is unique.
Well,
It's
that's-
completely different.
That's funny because that's like when I go to Chicago or when I go to Nashville, which is a lot.
Right.
I go to Treehouse, right? I sit at the bar and talk to the staff because it's like six deep, and I can see the kitchen working the whole time next to the bartender. So that was ultimately my hope, was to project that feeling of that place. You don't know where you are. when you're
Exactly.
here. You have no idea what city you're in. You don't know what year it is. You don't even care. You know?
You don't care.
Yeah.
And you're just in a great place where you feel comfortable.
Exactly.
And you're enjoying delicious cocktails and good food. And
If we don't disarm you, you know, what are we doing? You know, if somebody needs to go somewhere and feel fancy, let them do that. That's great. You know what I mean? But if you're really coming to a pub, it doesn't mean you're slinging garbage, and it doesn't mean it needs to be the coolest thing. It means it should be interesting enough and disarming and make you feel like you never want to leave, like you always want to be here, you know. And that's kind of the point, you know. So I appreciate that comment. Long story short, but that means a lot because that's what we're going for.
Well, it's amazing. We love what you're doing, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you.
In this great little town that I grew up in. Joe Phillips, thank you so much for
Thank
doing
you.
our show. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And wonderful place, great cocktail. So everybody come to Pints and Union in New Albany, Indiana.
And just for our Columbus listeners, it's about a 3-hour road trip. Completely worth it. Yes, bourbon country is great down here, but the cocktail scene is incredible as well.
Well, thanks for listening today, and be sure to check out our website, the Columbus Craft Cocktail Tour. Check it out for our upcoming tour dates, and you can get your tickets there. And thanks to our producer, Greg Hansberry, and to our original music by the biographer. And Blair, you want to take us out?
Always remember to drink responsibly, tip appropriately, and be cocktail curious.
Cheers.
Cheers.